Hi everyone, here is the long-awaited Beb's Biscuits, I guess. Okay, so grab some self-raising flour. This is the reconstituted powdered milk. Okay, so this is the one that I'm using for this. Do a 1/4 cup, you can use plain milk also, like the plain powdered milk, or just use regular milk. Or if you have a huge budget crunch or whatever, then just use water, okay? You just need a liquid and it's gonna be fine, okay? So this is what I used, a 1/4 cup into water. I made about 2 cups. We might not need it all. And then this morning I'm using good old Crisco, but you can also use butter, you can use ghee, you can use all sorts of things, okay? And then this is my fancy tripod that I'm gonna just dangle my phone off the side of, and hopefully you guys can see how easy it is. All right, so we're gonna try that and get as far over as I can go. Okay, so I'll just show you the size of this bowl. Okay, so it's like a medium-sized bowl. It's not a huge one. Okay, there we go. All right, so take your bowl and you're gonna stick your flour in it. I do not know how much flour this is, you guys. I'm gonna stop right about there, okay? This is, I mean, what would you say, 5 cups, 6 cups of flour, something like that? And so you're just gonna make a little well in the middle, and then you're gonna take your liquid and you're gonna fill up the little well until you get about to the top, okay? Just like that. So that was about 1.5 cups of the buttermilk, okay? Then you're gonna go in with your hands. This is why I wear gloves. And you're gonna get about a lemon-sized ball, okay, of your, of whatever your fat's gonna be. Okay, so if you see, it's about the size of a lemon. Okay, so now, stick it in there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start to mush it, but while you're doing that, you're kind of pinching up some of the flour, okay? So you're not stirring, you're legitimately pinching and then pulling flour away from the sides. Now, if you do this without gloves, just wash your hands good. Your hands will actually end up really soft, especially if you're using buttermilk. But you really want to get in there and kind of break up that fat because you don't want chunks of fat to end up in the biscuits. But it's okay. It's okay if it's a little chunky. But you see what I'm doing? We're just going through. And as I'm playing with it, you see how the flour is just kind of falling into it. It's like you don't even really have to pull flour from the sides because it just kind of starts to happen. Okay, so it's like while you're pinching and breaking up your little fat globules, I'm sure that sounds so attractive. The flour is just going to naturally start to pull away from the sides. So it's great. It's like stirring, but without stirring. So just keep playing and just pulling in from the sides. You may have to, so you see how it's kind of starting to get thick now? We're just going to keep squishing. There's a big clunk. Squishing and pulling. And take your time with it. It's kind of therapeutic. It's like playing in dough, like Play-Doh, okay? If you didn't put enough flour into your bowl, by the way, you can add more. You can just dump more. Okay, so we're gonna keep going here. And many times you're not gonna use up all of this flour, by the way. So we're just gonna make this sticky mess. And you see how like it's almost completely now starting to make something that looks a little bit like a dough, okay? So I have this little silicone guy here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scoop up this whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Put a little all-purpose flour down. You can use more of the self-raising if you want to, but self-raising is often more expensive than, okay? And you're just gonna stick your gummy dough. Like it almost does, it almost still doesn't even look like it belongs. Okay, but you're just gonna stick it down there and pat it out. And you know, if it's gonna be too wet for sure. So you see all the flour that I dumped out along with it. And with the self-rising flour in this self-rising bowl here, I'm just gonna grab a decent handful, sprinkle it over the top, and just keep going. And then I do have, like, if it's really, really wet and you can't move it, I picked up this really inexpensive little bench scraper. And so sometimes that just helps if you need it to get it up and over. This is actually looking pretty good. You guys see how quick that comes together? So, but like over here on this side, it like, if you have some that pulls off, just bench scrape it and, you know, make sure you're flipping the whole thing over so that you're getting a good mix on the bottom too. Ignore my turkey instructions. Okay, so the oven right now is at 375. Dun, dun, dun. You see your nasty hand? Okay. This will actually roll off too as you... And if you see little chunks of your fat in here, it's okay. I mean, that's what really goes into making things fluffy is all that layer of the fat in there. Okay, so how long should you mush it? Until it feels good. Like, as you can tell, it's like, it's really kind of come together and it's feeling good. It's looking whole. And so now I'm just going to pat it until it's about an inch thick because I like a good thick biscuit. Okay. So we're going to get it about an inch thick, just like that. And now I'm going to take off my gloves. Okay. So let me just take you down so that you can see the whole thing. You see how thick that is? You know, these actually don't rise a whole lot in the oven. So the thickness of your biscuit is going to be about the thickness there. Oh my gosh, this is a long video. I didn't realize this was going to be 7 minutes. Okay, so I'm putting you back up there. Okay, so now you're going to take your biscuit cutter. And I should have pulled my biscuit cutter out and I didn't. Where'd it go? Okay. So this one's a little big. I actually like to use the size down, but I can't find it. This is like, what, 3 inches? So 2 inches I think is fine, but here's the trick. When you put it on there, you want to press straight down and come up. Don't twist. If you twist, it will seal the edges and then your biscuit won't get fluffy. Okay, so we're gonna go through and we're just gonna press straight down. And let me get, if I wasn't filming, I probably would have done that a little better. Okay, so let me get these little guys off of here. And I have a cast iron that I like to use for this. So see, after it comes together, it won't make you too goopy anymore. So I'm just gonna pat out, grab one more. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give a little rinse. And grab my hot pad because over in the oven at 375, this is the pan that I like to use. But you certainly don't have to use something like that. You can stick them in there with anything. Okay, so because it's cast iron and it's well seasoned, I don't have to add oil. And you see why I like the next size down, because then they're not quite so crowded, but they actually bake up really nice. I do give them, you know, you can really load them on there and everything can be touching, or you can give them some breathing room, however you like to do it. Okay, so, and see, like, there's a little chunk. It's okay. It's going to cook in there. Now, here's the thing. We're going to stick these in here. And at 375, they're going to go for about 15 minutes. that's it. That's all there is. And I'll send you a little photo of what they look like. But that, we're gonna pat it back up and make a few more. You can also use this dough for like hand pies. I've seen some people do popovers and stuff. So anyway, there you go, Bev's Biscuits.